Hey, it's Jordan. We are live here in Biscayne Boulevard down in Miami, Florida. And there's a kind of a mishmash of rallies here. So you got Green New Deal activists, you got Medicare for All activists, and Get Your Hands Off Venezuela activists. So it's all progressive activists in one place. Right now, some folks are talking about climate change, so we're going to show you that.
That's how high it's going to get, más o menos, before it levels out. So there will be a time when we're not here unless we are swimming, because I just don't think we can make stilts that tall. So, but in general, as things change, one of the critical things, and I can tell you this as a scientist, the day job, is that the slower they change, the better they are for us, for our economy, and for all of the organisms we share the planet with. Slow is good. Slowing it down is good. So our goal is to follow the program of drawdown, which is, lowering the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere and educating girls and eating lower on the food chain. Those are the things that are going to save our planet, and they are within our reach.
I have been empowered by this planet, and it is my moral and sensible duty to defend it in a contemporary time of crisis. I want to thank all my peers and the amazing youth leaders that I've encountered along the way who have inspired me more and more every day to do more and more every day. Especially I want to congratulate and thank Greta Thunberg for inspiring this entire movement, because we are faced with the challenge of and the question of how can one person make a difference? And those two words, Greta Thunberg, have given us the answer.
I'm interested in climate justice because climate justice is economic justice. Because climate justice is racial justice. Because climate justice lays the blame for our catastrophe on the actual guilty party. Those are the corporations that buy our politicians. Tonight we're going to be listening to the first round of debates. And let me tell you something. Those that don't take climate change seriously, don't take them seriously.
You were speaking so passionately. Talk to me about the local Miami here. What are you guys up against? Because I know that the real estate developers are big here,
right,
and I know that the Democratic Party here isn't exactly the most progressive.
No, it's definitely not the most progressive. Well, the Dream Defenders, they were, founded after the murder of Trayvon Martin by, what's his name, George Zimmerman. But right now we focus on communities. We're located in Miami, Broward County, in St. Petersburg. Myself, I'm in Dream Defenders because they're focused on where I grew up, which is in Broward County in Sistrunk Boulevard. Here in Miami, they're based in Apalaca and Little Haiti. And so Dream Defenders is fighting right now in City Hall in Coconut Grove to make sure that two projects don't get passed. One that would gentrify Little Haiti and the other one that would gentrify Edgewater. I'll tell you a personal story. This is my own personal story. I moved to this country when I was 6 years old. My uncle...
Where'd you move from?
From Peru. My uncle had a house in Edgewater. One night that house went up in flames. And now it's a huge condo development. So the reality is that gentrification targets immigrants, people of color, proletarians, workers, and we believe that all of these struggles are linked together.
It's interesting. We've been to Flint a lot. We've been to other communities with water poisoning, arsenic, lead, all this stuff. And it just so happens it's usually poor communities, minority communities.
Right.
It seems like they dump all the toxic shit, for lack of a better word, on your backyard. I don't hear that many candidates talking about the environmental justice aspect.
Right.
You were talking about that. Expand on that a little bit.
Well, I think it's up to us to build organization at the grassroots level, because right now maybe it's not politically correct, because real political correctness is not being respectful to people of color, right? Real political correctness is not being able to talk about the military-industrial complex, the capitalist decay in this country, right? And so if we're not going to be politically correct here in the grassroots level, we're going to make sure that we talk about that here. And maybe it'll go up there. Our priority is to build the people's power.
This sort of extinction level event, when we were talking about 100,000 people dying every single year, the question that we're going to be asked in 30 years is, what did you do? And that's what we all need to take upon ourselves. We can't just be, an attendee. We can't just be someone that likes something on Facebook. We all have to be involved. We all really have to get in there, get our hands dirty, get on some elbow grease, and get involved.
A lot of what we were talking about, or what folks are talking about, are climate justice, but I also want to extend it to, we need to end the forever wars. One of the biggest polluters is the U.S. military, imperialism. This country is unfortunately an empire, and we need to destroy it from within. Now, folks, we need to stand in solidarity with so many different communities here in Miami. Little Haiti, as Didier was saying, is under attack with the Magic City development. We need to fight gentrification at any point, at any step of the way. If you see here exactly where we are in Miami, you see these high-rises, these luxury high-rises. Oftentimes they are filled, they're empty. Who lives here? These are people parking their capital, keeping their riches here.
Cantor LLC is currently trying to drill oil in the Everglades. No way!
No.
There is currently legislation within the House that is trying to be passed in the Senate, and it has not yet been passed. We must protect our river of grass. It filters all of our water. If we do not have water, then guess who's going to be affected? The people who do not have who cannot afford to pay for clean water. We need to protect our aquifers, and we need to protect it from not only from drilling in the Everglades, but the fire that happened in the Everglades that burned acres. And currently all of that ash is sitting over Broward County. The smell is disturbing, and all of the pollution within the air could cause air pollution and contamination problems.
What was your name again?
Nicole.
And talk to me, how'd you get involved in this, and what are the obstacles here locally?
So I got involved with Gen Cleo, and from getting involved with Gen Cleo, I found out about a mayor group. So we've been meeting with the mayor and protesting in front of the mayor every Friday. I haven't been in Miami recently because we started striking in front of Weston City Hall, but now we're going to start meeting with the mayor, and we're going to ask him to have a 100% renewable goal.
The wind is calling. Stand for something or die in the morning. And say high power, high power. And so when I listen to that song, and when I hear that, I think about what it's like to live in this time, as we watch the effects of a capitalist system meant to destroy us since its inception, as we watch the effects of an economic system put forth by an empire that is determined to destroy our planet and everything in it, and what it must feel like to betray our children, to betray our grandchildren, by not standing up and saying that we don't want to live in a world that will not exist. Let us make no misconceptions. The earth will survive. But will we be able to survive on it?
I take it this isn't your first march in your life.
No, it isn't.
What do you think about Miami here? It seems like they're not taking the climate crisis that seriously, because look at all these developments still going up.
I believe they aren't taking it very seriously, and we need to let them know that they need to. And these politicians who are trying to get elected need to know that there are things out there that have to change if we're going to survive.
No, I don't think the Democratic Party is doing what it needs to do.
Right. And what's interesting to me is, you're now seeing wildfires. You're seeing wildfires not just in California, but started in the Everglades here. So it's right in front of you, yet they're not doing anything.
Off of the status quo, and so they want things to remain the same for as long as possible.
Look at that, we're status quo.
I like that.
The more people that show up means that there will be more representation at the political level. Show up, or you're not doing enough.
That's right.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statusquo.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statusquo.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.